So I need everything but
What's up, Facebook? What's up, Zoe? I know I'm looking real rough today. What a morning. What a morning.
We got 1:15.
No, we gonna wait on Tammy. She waited on me, which I never do. What she did? Look, y'all. If I had to say, she gonna tell me. Yesterday I be waiting on her. I be coming in when I'm here. You know, every minute wasted is dollars wasted. But I'm gonna wait on her. I do got a 12:15 caller. We got a great show. Now this guest. Now that I'm looking down, Dr. Cameka Smith with the Boss Network.
That's not one of the Mikas that be coming in all the time.
No, right. We got a bunch of all the Mikas making money, ain't it?
I swear it was one of them.
so I need one more.
The Boss Network is huge. No, I've heard of them. And let me look them up too.
So I need one more questions. You got this.
No, I don't have that. So I speak to the right person when they come in.
Yes.
And I'm waiting on Tammy to go on IG Live. Facebook. While Tammy ain't here yet, we need y'all to send in some questions for behind the scenes that we can cover. Because it seems like we would go a straight relationship with these questions. Which is cool, you know. People like, I say, Facebook, send us some question suggestions for behind the scenes. I say, because it seems like all our questions is relationship. But if they want to hear it, you know. I keep getting emails from SMG, UMG, Sony. Yeah. Cut that down just a little. Not all the way, just a little. I honestly don't be saying cut it down. Right, we ain't been cut off. I just get claims. And I meant to read them. I don't be reading them. I wonder if they're from old videos.
Oh, true.
And they just catching up with it.
I bet YouTube. I bet that's happening more because we're on YouTube now too. Because YouTube's a lot more strict. They're super strict.
Because we used to get cut off
of Facebook
all the time, right? But then I would have to go in and
they seem a little less strict now.
I would appeal it and put like We Radio, iHeart, and then we'll win the appeal. So they had the audio back. But
well, and we got more intentional about saying we don't own the rights to this too.
Yeah. Reverend Jarrell is in the building, y'all. Oh, you know what? It's a Trump rally coming up if you want to go. I was invited to.
What?
Trump rally if y'all want to go.
My mom will be there. I guarantee it.
I'm not saying that you're a Republican or anything.
You can meet my mother, man. You can meet my mother. Now, my mom went last time with her friend, and they acted like it was like a concert or something.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying
They're like, we met him. It was amazing.
If it was a debate.
Well, hello, sunshine.
Why you making shoe noise?
Shoe noises?
This.
Oh, you are making shoe noises. I said there's a Trump rally. You want to go?
I can't wait to not go.
Your boy invited me.
Who?
Mark Carter.
Mark Carter.
He ain't text you?
Mark Carter.
He must know not to text you.
Mark Carter, no better. Don't let me forget this.
He texted me 3 invitations. I'm like, wait a minute. By the 3rd time, I'm like, maybe I should go check it out.
He said he getting some money from. What's the topic today, y'all?
We waiting on you.
Okay.
I just told him. I said before Tammy get here, let me say this. I said send some question suggestions if you want us to talk about something. I said, it seems like we just straight relationships. Jarrell said, get the people what they want.
Because I was trying to switch and they were like, no, I really like the relationship.
Hey, this is 1300.
Oh.
Today I'm gonna lead. Today your lead. I lead it.
Lead it.
Okay, you supposed to be on the show today?
Is that Vicky? Hey, Vicky. Okay, hold tight. Stay on the line. We're a little behind, but we're gonna bring you in on what's going on. You know Vicky. Vicky Allen.
Oh yeah, I know Vicky. Hey Vicky, come back.
30 seconds.
Get my head together. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go.
Okay, come on. What's
I don't
the
have my AirPods.
Why's your phone get loud on that?
Because it's not mute, so we would usually not be in the same room.
Okay.
10, yo. We got 10.
You can mute the mic on Instagram.
I'm gonna try.
5,
That's it.
4, 3, 2.
You're rocking with the brunch right here on Inspiration 1390. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. It's your main man, Action Jackson, on this Wednesday. And we're not talking about WED, we're talking WINS Day because we are winners. And I'm always proud to be posted up with the winner.
Hey, what's up, believers? It's your girl Tamara Fair on the air. And I'm super excited about this Wednesday because you know what? That means we only got 48 hours to Friday.
Woo, woo, woo. Well, listen, Friday is your favorite day of the week. And you race down starting Sunday night.
You better know it. You better tell the people what they need to know.
But Tamir, we got to stop rushing it. We got to quit rushing it because the quicker we get to Friday, that means the older we keep getting too.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let me tell you something. My condolences go out to the Gregoire family because last week, remember, I had to go to a funeral in Nashville because one of my friends he was just fine when we were there for the reunion, and then he didn't wake up, just passed peacefully in his sleep. Same thing with Paul Gregoire. Today, his cousin Billy let me know that he passed peacefully in his sleep. So I am definitely asking believers to pray for the family, for condolences and for strength. But
we'll definitely.
But I said that because you said we get quicker and faster. No man knows the day or the hour. However, in the meantime, what does that tell us? Be ready. And also live your life like it's your last day because you never know when it is. And I promise you, and I'm not putting this in the universe, but if I left today, I'm having a ball.
Live your life like it's your last, but live your life like you want to see your first.
There you go.
Because if you live right, heaven belongs to you. If you talk right, heaven belongs to you.
You better come on, Pastor.
But you know what? We're praying for. You know what? I got to call this right before the show, and I had to. Shout out to Sister Margaret, who makes sure I'm stay abreast of everything that's happening. And she texts me that Sister Sherry Howell, a faithful member of Corinthian Temple, young woman, passed away. Oh my God. And I was like, wait a minute, it couldn't be. I just was.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, Ryan. What's up, my Brooke? You are my Brooke. Yes, you are.
Can you see the guests at the door?
Today's topic, turn it down a little bit real so they can hear the topic. Today's topic is how soon is too soon to tell someone you love them?
Can you hear now?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? How soon?
There's no time on how soon you can tell someone you love them.
I'm talking about, it's no time.
It's no time.
It's no time.
You ever heard of love at first sight?
I've heard of that.
Some people fall in love immediately.
They do. And I'm just saying, should you say to them?
Some never say it.
Some never say it. You know, I had an aunt who raised me and I knew she loved me because She took me into her home and raised me as her own child. But literally, she said, I love you to me 3 times in my life. Once when I was going through a tumultuous time at Fisk University, and she said, Tammy, I'm believing you and I love you. I looked at the phone. I thought I was going to drop it. I was like, oh my God, she loved me. But I knew she loved me, even though she didn't say. But
in a relationship,
how soon is
they called me?
Or do you reserve that until time passes?
Unmute Tammy real quick, and then add me to her Instagram.
Did you request?
I did.
Ooh, child. Let me tell you something.
I don't see the request.
My foot is itching.
I'm about to. Here we go.
Hey, Justice.
No, oh Lord, Jesus, my phone. When did you tell your woman, Justice? He ain't like you, Jarrell. He don't. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing?
You can mute him now. Definitely mute him now.
Oh, no problem. I'm going to send you Justice's number.
Did you get that new commercial?
Yeah, so that when she gets here, he can
sent
meet
it
and let her in on 30.
You, Adam. It's
right. Yep, I'm gonna text.
Oh, I see it. The
Success Teacher. Hey, Donna. Y'all, this is my social media expert. I'm loving. What'd you say you loving?
kindergarten.
Can y'all hear us on Facebook?
I'm bringing somebody in who's officially Gemini.
It is.
Officially Gemini. So if you don't take anything away from today's In the Raw, I want you to know the mic is always on and the camera is always rolling.
Yeah.
Live by that. Protect yourselves from that. And I promise you will be better off for that. So Maryland teacher is under investigation after a viral TikTok of students taking out his braids went global, y'all. There are mixed reactions from the community after a Maryland school teacher was placed under investigation over a viral TikTok video featuring interactions with her students, and some criticized as inappropriate. Well, the teacher at the Maya Angelou French Immersion School in Hillcrest Heights was confirmed by the school district as Marquise White. Well, the staff member in question has been reassigned out of the classroom pending the outcome of an investigation. And an email from the Prince George's County Public School spokesperson said that the investigation is underway. So White has over 770,000 followers on the social media app TikTok, and many of his videos involve teaching and have gained largely positive reactions online. However, White posted on the video on May the 5th after he said a live stream he posted of students taking out his braids the week prior garnered discourse and comments. And some people suggested that it was inappropriate. Others see that came to the teacher's defense. I would like to represent myself in this case. Your honor, he said. Now, you know what they say about anytime you represent yourself, you got a what for a representative?
I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, well, guess what, White? You look it up. It's everywhere. Well, White said in the video, which has now amassed more than 7 million views and about 21,000 comments. White added for content that he had an appointment immediately after school that day and that he needed his hair taken out. He said that he planned to do it at the night before, but he just didn't get to it. And so he's set to be interviewed on that particular day for a school promotion video. And so students agreed to help him take his hair out at the end of the day with 10 minutes to spare from the dismissal time. Well, building an authentic relationship with his students was paramount, he added. Students don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Well, that's very valid, right? Mm-hmm. So teaching is the work of the heart, the caption on the video said. So Fox 5 spoke with several people who live near the Hillcrest Heights School, and some people who have seen the video online said that he believes that critics were overreacting. I really don't think it's inappropriate, they said, because it's like if it was a female teacher, it would have been different. Well, it would have been like, oh, that's cute, right? Mm-hmm. One woman said, and I don't think that it's inappropriate. My opinion don't count for just me. So Rodney Pitts of Temple Hills told Fox that he has a daughter that he did not see a problem with the video, and the daughter didn't see a problem with the video. Well, a lot of kids in the area need that type of male figure in their life, because some kids do not have positive male figures in their life. Well, sometimes their father is not around, and sometimes their mother is around, and sometimes it's just, you know, people they scattered, right? So the only place the kid can feel safe is in their school, and they can bond with the male teachers. Well, others offered a different perspective and told Fox that they felt that it was just inappropriate for school. Something like that should have been done at home, not in school. Well, the verdict is still out. We don't know what the outcome is going to be under this investigation, but there is a formal investigation. Well, Virginia Bailey said also that she didn't feel that the interaction was inappropriate between the teacher and the students, and particularly because the whole interaction was on TikTok. So no teacher should be touching another student or letting another student touch him. That's inappropriate. But how do you show if you don't give positive reinforcement? Like in preschool, hugs are necessary, right? And so some people may think that that's inappropriate, but it's more than appropriate, because some kids come to school having bad days from home, and it is up to that teacher to make them feel loved, wanted, and erase those bad days. So it's a fine line, really, when you think about it, because we're in the Me Too era, we're in the inappropriate, we're in the cancel culture era. So you just have to really look and see where the gaps are and make your own opinion. I'm really actually saddened by this, because
why? I want to know.
Well, the reason I'm saddened by it is because it's so hard to get males in childcare, particularly in preschool, and it's becoming even harder for them to go into your upper grades as well. So when you get a positive male figure, now he has garnered millions of followers, right? And when you look at his social media, all of them are positive. And braiding hair, it would be different if they were braiding hair and scantily clothed,
right?
Or they were braiding hair and they were saying things that were inappropriate. You're braiding hair. Unbraiding hair. Well, he had something to do.
I'm glad that we're on the same side of this time, because sometimes I don't want to let you go first before I don't want to get drug up out of here. But no, I'm like, you know what? I get inappropriate in school, right? First of all, you shouldn't be getting your head done in school. There's a lot of things that probably shouldn't go on if you want to go that route. 5 or 6 girls on video not touching his skin, but just unbraiding his hair. I didn't see anything wrong with it. But here's where we got to be very careful where we crucify our own, right? Yeah. This black brother has gone viral. He's been getting death threats. He's been crucified. They want him to lose his job. But there's a white male teacher who went viral who let his white female students bedazzle his bald head. So they're touching his skin and they putting diamonds all over his head. So he went from bald to 1,000, well, not maybe hundreds of diamonds on his scalp, and nobody said nothing. Nobody's crucifying him. Nobody's telling him that you should lose your job and you shouldn't be here. But then there was another teacher, middle school teacher, a woman with a big old rump, who put a post of her rump up and said, "Do you think my middle school students be looking at my butt?" But nobody drugged this woman. Now, and I said that. So we got a white male teacher who allowed women to touch his skin, his head.
Did he have Gorilla Glue?
I don't know what that. You know that they put the little. They got stickers on it or whatever. But then you got a white male. Then you have a black woman. Nothing. But when it comes to a black man, the positive image that our young people need is like, all right, let's cancel him. Let's get him out of the school. Let's investigate. And then they started
disparage his reputation as a teacher that he's spent all this career time building.
And that's where the problem. That's where the buck meets the road. The rubber meets the road. All of that good stuff. But
you said it right, Buck, because maybe he'll be out of books depending on how this investigation turns out.
Well, no, because he's gonna be a social media sensation now, because he got millions of followers. But that's not what he just wants to do. He wants to be an educator and a positive male role model. So the millions of dollars you're going to make on TikTok won't account to the lives that you change being an educator. And that's what educators get into education, not for the money, clearly, but because of passion and purpose.
That's right.
And so when you take that away from people, and I think we African Americans, black folks, got to quit jumping on the bandwagon to cancel our own people.
Yeah. Because you see how other cultures galvanize in defense of, and we galvanize in criticism of. And you're right. We do have to change the brain so that we can change the narrative and change our global perception of our culture.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, in between time, we're going to keep praying for this brother, because I know I have, out of 72 people that are in my employ, I only have 4 males. 74 out of 72. And truthfully, the kids gravitate toward those 4, and so do the other women, because I mean their peers, their colleagues, because there might not be positive role models in their homes.
Yeah, and we need it. And when you do stuff like this, it pushes men away from wanting to be educated. And it's like, you know what? Now, I grew up in the church, so thank God. The church is the training ground for a lot of things in the world, right? And I learned, as a youth leader in the church, my mother pulled me to the side once. I was meeting with a young lady. She said, "Don't you ever have a private meeting with a young lady without somebody in the room with you."
Okay.
And I said, okay. And she said, "I'm not saying you're going to do anything." But she said, "You want somebody else to be your witness. You want to have somebody in that room so you don't have those issues." And so I took that into community work, the professional setting. You just got to be very, very careful. And so this brother, we got to protect him. We got to pray for him. And we're going to post, I'm going to send it to Adam and Justice. We're going to post a video of the white man letting the girls bedazzle his head, and nobody said nothing about it, So it's...
And first of all, I don't know why you would even think, like, what be on your mind to say, "I want to get my head bedazzled today"? Like,
well, the same reason they put the videos up. Now, everybody want to go TikTok. They want to do these TikTok things. And that's just the world we live in, unfortunately.
Did he go viral?
I don't know, because I didn't really. After I saw little girls playing in his head, I was disgusted, and I couldn't believe that he was perverted like that. Because that's how we did our black brother, right? He's a perv for letting them unbraid their hair. When we all grew up in the hood, and if you got braids, you let every little girl on the porch, on the block, come sit on your porch and either braid your hair or unbraid your hair.
With no malice, with no perv intended. So you're right. But now it's 10 minutes before let out, right? 10 minutes into a final class, you ain't doing nothing nowhere.
Well, it's talking about, see, that's the difference between us and them. They ain't doing nothing. We doing something. And you know what? We're doing it big right here on the Brunch Bunch on Inspiration 13. Justice, why y'all left on me, bro? I'm like, we doing it big, and I hit them.
Why you on me?
No, we was doing. All right,
exclusively, y'all. When is it? Is it too soon? How soon is too soon?
Right.
Oh, they doing seductive.
Dr. Cameka, nice to see you.
They doing seductive moves too.
Yeah, welcome.
That's so weird. That's super weird.
We watching the little girls put diamonds on the white man's head, and ain't nobody say nothing.
He went viral.
Yeah, he went viral, but nobody said cancel him, fire him.
You know what's so funny? I told my sister yesterday when I was in 6th grade, I had a teacher. He had cancer, so we couldn't switch classes like the other kids. And we would do his hair. He had beautiful long hair. He was Black and Indian.
Wow.
We would do his hair, but there was no social media.
Yeah.
It
wasn't a big deal.
And it wasn't intentional in terms of what the intention was afterward. We just wanted to make you feel
an older Black man.
Yeah.
This is a younger Black man. He looks about the same age as a kid, so it's going to be a different thing.
But you know what's funny that you say that? Because I was like, where were all the young teachers when I was in high school? I mean, in elementary. But because my teacher had been teaching 30, 40 years, so she was once a young teacher.
But she take me out to pick me up from home and take me to her outing.
Yeah, mine too.
But she did.
But in college, they do it with no problem. Like, I understand. I'm saying it's shunned upon then, but in college, you're still young enough to be vulnerable, young enough to be exactly.
Because then the people on there say he's grooming these young women. I'm like, please.
I worked at Chicago State University when I first got out of college. And I was 24, and I had a lot of good relationships with my students. And one in particular, she was going through a lot, and I invited her to my church and tried to, minister to her. And it became something else. She kind of started to stalk me, and so I had to cut that off. So after that, I learned, you cannot
open up.
Not everybody,
You're right. You have to do
the
it
call
on
on,
an
right?
individual basis.
Cut this, drop. What's going on? Let's do this quick.
You got that commercial up?
I said.
You want to run the commercials or what's going on?
But
what's going on in the commercial?
You do, and it's going to run today, right?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's going to run after what's going on.
Okay, cool. All right.
But I have to say actually the contact information. So
So you make her commercial, the new commercial, the last commercial, so that she can come in right after.
Then could speak on this at all? It was in the same email.
Where's the contact information? Because it's not on there. I had to revise it. And I think it's HTTP /
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you what's going on. What's going on is I'm grateful that I got my training from the church and from the community organizations that I work with. And I'm so proud to be a member of Corinthian Temple Church of God in Christ and a board member of United for Better Living. And we're partnered with Divine Purpose, Lieutenant Daniel Allen and his beautiful wife, Victoria Allen, who we've come together. We're doing some amazing things to make sure that we're keeping our kids safe. And then when you teach them and you train them up in the way that they should go, they won't depart. And that's why we got to get our kids in these programs. So we won't have these viral videos of our kids doing things that we don't think they should be doing because they've been taught right. So we're glad to have one of the representatives on the line, Miss Victoria Allen. Hey, Vicky, how you doing? We are so happy to have you on with us. And we know you got some great things going on in the community. Tell us what you got.
Okay, so we have a youth prayer brunch that's coming up on June 1st, Saturday, June 1st at 12 p.m. It is called the Urgency Room. And this event, we're trying to get as many parents and as many youth to come into the care center. We're going to feed them really well, and we're going to pray and cover our young people for the summer. We all know that as soon as the sun shines, unfortunately in Chicago, we lose so many of our babies. So we're determined to get these young people in the room, get these parents in the room. We have an awesome service that's planned for this event. We have two amazing young men who will be with us. We have Minister Jonathan Ellison. He's going to be the MC. And then my brother, Jeremy Christian, is going to bring a word for the house on that afternoon. So we're begging parents. Like we said, it's the urgency room, like the emergency room. When you go there, you know, you really need to see the doctor. You really need to get some help. So we really need to pray for our young people. Pray for them. And Bishop Woodley is going to give every parent a bottle of blessed oil to take home, to go home and anoint your house and any other family members that you may need to do. So this is a 911 emergency to get our youth and parents to our location, which is the Care Center, 230 North Comar. Again, this is Divine Purpose and United for a Better Living event. Our bishop is David Todd Woodley, and this is an event that you do not want to miss.
Well, I'll tell you this, and believers, I want you to take heed to this. Look, govern yourselves accordingly to this announcement, because Vicky just said something that really illuminated the urgency room. And you know what? When we're having an issue and we're not doing well, we don't always get to the emergency room. We go to what's called urgent care now, right? And we do need urgent care for our young people. And prayer is the key to the kingdom, and faith unlocks the door. So we believers, bring your young people out for prayer. They'll be in good hands. Trust me, Lieutenant Allen, Vicki Allen, Kathy Allison, Bishop Whitley, Cherie Brown. They're doing some amazing things with the young people in the community. And just bring them out for prayer, get that blessed oil. Listen, when MJ was in the hospital, Valencia was in the hospital, that blessed oil came in handy. I was slanging it around that room.
You know what? That's so important too. And I'm glad she said that, because when you take these spirits and you get them on when you're outside, you bring those spirits back into your house, and you do need to have an exorcism of bad spirits.
All right. Look, our guest pulled her blessed oil out in the studio. Listen, you don't leave home without it, because you never know when you need to, touch somebody, touch something. Because, and you know what? It's your faith that activates.
That's right.
The blessed oil.
That's
and
right.
So
Vicky's constantly doing great work in the community. We definitely want to keep you prayed up, a hedge of protection around you, so that you can continue to change lives like you do.
Now, Vicky, how can say the date again, and how can they contact you for more information?
Okay, so you can contact myself, Victoria Allen, at 773-719-0542, or you can contact Cherie Brown Harvey at 773-261-3309.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, believers, don't meet us there, beat us there. Bring your kids out. You come out, get you a bottle of blessed oil. Bishop Whitley, you know, our resident pastor here for the Brunch will be in the building. And those young men that they have on program are going to be doing some. And we want our young people to see some young brothers that are walking by faith and not by sight. So bring them out. You don't want to miss this. Connect with Vicky or Cherie.
And Cherie's number is 773-261-3309, 773-261-3309. And Vicky's number is 773-719-0542, 773-719-0542. We're also going to post these numbers on our social media pages so that you can have them. But in the meantime, connect with them. I promise you will not leave the same way you came.
Well, Vicky, thank you again for all the work that you all are doing. Shout out to Divine Purpose and UBL, and we will make sure we keep announcing this on the air. Believers, you don't want to go nowhere. If you thought that was some good information, wait until our guest comes up next, because she is helping to change lives. And you know what? You don't want to miss this. Call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. Okay, turn that down a little. Play about a minute of that and then commercials, and let's hop into this great interview.
All right, guys, we're back on our exclusive topic for social media. How soon is too soon to tell someone in a new relationship that you love them? How soon is too soon to tell someone? Is it a month? Is it a week?
I said never.
You said never. So if you fall for this person in a week, you tell them you love them.
If someone tells me they love me in a week, I'm running.
What you think?
That's a very good topic.
Dr. Cameka.
I actually had a situation like that. I asked him, "What do you love?" Because you don't even know me. Yeah, so that's gonna be.
But you don't believe in love at first sight, or maybe I watched too many Lifetime movies.
So do you say I'm infatuated with you?
No, but I don't believe in love at first sight.
You know, Jarrell got something to say.
You can look at somebody.
Jarrell, like, I gotta wait 5 years to know it's real. Well, here's the thing. Well, I think spiritually, right? We have the gift of discernment. We believe that if you have a relationship with God and He speaks to you, He walks with you, and the Lord says, that's the one, and I'm looking, and we get connected, and I know in my spirit that that's the one. I don't think it's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I love you. You the one. Let's do this.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I mean, you know, if it happened in a day or a week, you know. Right. Not me.
That's God telling me that, nope, this is not your time. Right?
Well, there's some people who have met, went on one date, and been married in a week.
For years.
And they married 30 years now.
That's amazing for them.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We do live in
for them. That's amazing.
Well, that is true. It's a lot of, this is a real different world these days. But what's funny, my cousin been doing online dating since before it was like popular, and people used to talk about him like, why would you do that? And he said online dating is like me going to a coffee shop and meeting somebody randomly on the street. I still don't know them either. And he was like, at least online, I get to read a little profile about them before I initiate with them. So, you know, we just live in different times.
I met my girlfriend on Tinder.
You met your girlfriend on Tinder? You swipe right? Is it right? Is it right or left? I don't know. I ain't never been on Tinder.
So Inglewood Tanya says that.
Good afternoon.
Inglewood Tanya says that love at first sight is in the cards.
What's the tarot card? I'm like, what card, Tanya? What you over there doing, Tanya?
I'm here for you feeling it, but you need to get that in your heart and take it to the Lord and meditate.
Okay. Okay, I like that.
I like that. But I do want to be concerned about if you tell me you love me in a week that I'm running.
What? Okay.
I'm very concerned about that.
Well, because exactly
you got on a wedding ring and everything.
No, I don't.
Well, it symbolizes.
No, because usually.
Who said that?
In my experience,
okay, Shahara says it can happen.
In my experience, a lot of people's experiences, people come from some trauma, emotional trauma, things like that. They're quick to love bomb. And that always goes down.
Okay, love bomb. No. That's it.
Strategies for success. This ain't just any book. It's your roadmap to running a tight ship.
Yes, and it's exactly
fun and inclusive.
What is it?
Say bye-bye to those
lemon rinse
days and hello to smooth sailing with my tribe.
Spell it. Lemon rinse.
Let's empower our little ones together. Grab your copy now and let's make magic in the classroom.
And you can connect with strategies on how to become a successful teacher by going to http://stand.store/A-Hollis, the number 10 !
I love it. Well, you know what? We always bring you resources on this show. And if you're not tuned in and following us on social media, make sure you follow the Brunch Bunch at Brunch Bunch 1390 on Instagram. And on Facebook, you can see behind the scenes, or follow Tammy T. Fair on Instagram or Marcel Action Jackson. You know what? Tammy asked a question, and I want you believers to answer it online. When is too soon to tell someone you love them? And I said that because we have a guest, and I want to tell her I love her already.
I know, right?
Because she is doing some amazing things and helping a lot of people.
And that is none other than Dr. Cameka Smith. We want to welcome her to the Brunch Bunch. This is her first time to the Brunch Bunch, and obviously she's going to be a Brunch Buncher too. But today we have the pleasure of chatting with Dr. Cameka Smith, the founder of the BOSS. Yes, exactly like I said, the BOSS Network. Dr. Smith is a speaker, investor, and award-winning entrepreneur dedicated to empowering women in business. And under her leadership, the BOSS Network has grown into one of the fastest growing communities for professional and entrepreneurial women. Join us as we give a big Brunch Bunch welcome to Dr. Smith.
Welcome.
Yes,
listen,
so excited about it.
She is a boss, and BOSS stands for Bringing Out Successful Sisters.
Hey.
And I love it because you're definitely doing it. And shout out to my good friend Cynthia, publicist extraordinaire, who was like, Marcel, you got to meet Dr. Smith. She is doing amazing things. And when I looked her up, I'm like, listen, she is doing amazing things. And so we got to have her on the show. So we're going to hop right in. Dr. Smith, can you tell us more about the BOSS Network and its mission to support professional and entrepreneurial women?
Absolutely, Marcel. So the BOSS Network was actually launched right here in Chicago. I'm a former administrator for Chicago Public Schools. I worked in the educational field for about 10 years. And then I got laid off in 2009, which happens to a lot of people. But I was always an entrepreneur, since I was a young person, the hustle, trying to do things in high school, sell taffy apples and candy and all types of stuff, college doing hair, nails, anything I could do to make some extra money. And so when I got laid off, I already had a marketing company that I was, doing part-time and working with brands as what they call now an influencer. But back then we were brand ambassadors. So I worked with brands like Nike, BMW, Hennessy, and some other brands.
Okay, Hennessy, I made it.
But the reality was I really wanted to be my own boss, and so I started to just talk to different entrepreneurs who were successful, because doing a hustle on the side is different from having a full-time business.
Oh, for sure.
And trying to pay the bills
and make it real.
Oh, absolutely. So as I was talking to all these wonderful entrepreneurs in Chicago, I was like, wow, if we had a space where we could talk about these things as Black people, women and men, we could have a lot more entrepreneurs and be more successful. And it was also a selfish thing because I wanted to learn and grow my marketing company. So I did events. So we launched our first BOSS series in the summer of 2009. So this was 15 years ago.
Wow.
And we had 200 women come out, and it was absolutely amazing. We honored a bunch of women here in Chicago, Tyra Martin, a lot of different women in different industries. And from there, we just started to have these conversations online about how do we become bosses. And that's how the BOSS Network was created and the digital platform was born because we wanted to kind of figure out a way to network beyond the events, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this was 15 years ago, so you just had Twitter and Facebook. This wasn't all the other social media that you have. And we were listed in Forbes magazine within 6 months as one of the top websites for women. Wow. And that kind of catapulted me to another level.
Of course it did. Yeah. Of course it did.
So I took that momentum and I just ran with it.
So you talked about what inspired you to launch BOSS, but what inspired you to launch the BOSS Impact Fund and Invest in Progress grant program, which of course is essential when you're talking about leveling up?
Absolutely. So, at the time, I think when COVID hit, we had just celebrated our 10th year anniversary. And I said the Lord was on my side because I had worked so hard and I had a wonderful event at the Palmer House with Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, Selena Johnson, Shantae Moore, a bunch of people. And COVID happened 2 months later. Wow. And so everything got shut down. And I was in a position where I was like, okay, 75% of my business is events and conferences. So what do I do next? And so I did what most entrepreneurs do. You have to figure out how to pivot. Yep. And so I just went, I started praying. I started asking God, what do you want me to do? And he had already put in my spirit, to launch a fund some years ago. But sometimes you got to sit on some things and you got to pray about it. And so I didn't really know how to get it started. But during that season, I saw a lot of companies posting about impacting Black communities and giving out millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And so I said, okay, I've been doing this for 10 years. If they're going to be giving out money, they need to get it to the BOSS Network.
Right.
And so I just started pitching some of these brands that I work with and said, okay, I'm launching this fund. I want to raise $10 million for Black women founders. And my first investor was a company I had been working with for, at the time, about 8 years. Mm. And they invested the first $1.2 million.
Wow. Yeah.
So we've invested in 100 Black female founders so far. And it's just been incredible to see how amazing these have been able to just take that funding and just soar with just a little support. So I'm talking about $10,000 grants and actual business mentorship and coaching, because we knew that the funding was just one piece, right? But if you're going to grow a business and scale, you need to have some mentorship. You need to have some coaching. You need to have some real strategies that's going to help you scale. And so we put them in a 1-year business program through our BOSS Business University to actually help them grow. And this is our 3rd year.
Now, before we go to the next question, how do people connect with that fund, and is it still available?
Yeah, so we launched the fund in 2022. So every year we have a grant cycle that opens in January. And so the cycle had just closed. We just announced the 25 grant winners this year. But in 2025, what year are we in?
Right.
We'll reopen. And so our goal is to continue to support as many Black women that we can with that fund.
Awesome. And we will definitely.
We're still raising money. So, it's a hard job.
It is.
Black women get access to less than 1% of VC capital.
Oh, yeah.
So
and we're living in a time where people are attacking funds like that are supporting Black women. So we're praying, especially a hedge of protection around it. Now, we talk about grants and business on this show every day, all day, literally. One of the things that I keep pointing out to people, there was a time, I'm sure 15 years ago, there wasn't many grant programs for business owners. It was really, I was in rooms where we would say, all right, y'all keep giving these nonprofits these grants. And I'm a nonprofit, but what about entrepreneurs? And now we're in a time where people see that we need to invest in minority businesses. How do you envision the Invest in Progress grants impacting the recipients and their businesses?
Well, we, like I said, this is our 3rd year. So we actually just recently launched, we were commissioned by a company called Sage, based out of the UK, to launch a report on Black women in business, because there's never been a report done. And we are leading when it comes to Black businesses. We're the leading group of entrepreneurs, but we make less money. Our businesses don't succeed. And so we wanted to really look at what are some of the challenges.
And we work harder.
And we work. Well, we know that. We work 10 times as hard.
Yes.
And so we launched a report called the Voices of Strength Report. And that report was really to look at some of the challenges. We interviewed 40 Black women founders. We started in Atlanta because, of course, Atlanta's the hub for Black women founders. And from that report, we really learned some of the challenges, which we pretty much knew: capital, connections, coaching. Those were some of the top 3 things that were really holding entrepreneurs back from succeeding. And so we launched a program through that research called Pathways to Success. And so currently we're actually working with 150 founders in Atlanta, and we're mentoring and coaching these women throughout this year. And so my goal is to be able to reach and touch as many women as possible. We have currently about 200,000 women within our community across the country, but my goal is to be able to reach millions. And so, I have some great partnerships with companies like JP Chase, Sage, PepsiCo. And so we have a nonprofit also called Boss on Campus. teaching young women about entrepreneurship and focusing on HBCUs like Dillard, Xavier. And so, yeah, we're just out here doing
Well, we definitely need you at FIS.
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to.
Listen, I love you. But you know what? I'm sure the women that are listening are like, how do I connect? So I just wanted to just ask this question with the community. Is there a cost to be a part of this community?
There is a cost. And so it's interesting because prior to COVID, most of my revenue came from conferences, events, sponsorship and membership fees. And then when COVID happened, everything got shut down. So a lot of brands were not investing in that way. And so also a lot of businesses were struggling. And so God put on my heart, how can you work with these brands? They have trillions of dollars. Black women spend more money than any other consumer in the country. And so most of my programs are paid for by the sponsors, and these women can actually be a part of these programs at no cost. But the membership, still, there is a fee because we want women who are serious. Yep. When you invest in yourself, you show up.
Show up.
So.
Because you've got a vested interest in it.
Absolutely.
So, of course, everybody is asking, what's the criteria that you use to select the grant recipients? And what advice would you give to women who are interested in applying for these grants? And when is the opening date? It's just January 2025, right?
Yes. So the next grant cycle will be January 2025. But I tell entrepreneurs, we are a network that supports women all year long. So there's still workshops and trainings and events and access to other grants. So we have a partnership with Hello Alice, which is one of the largest digital platforms that puts out grants. And so we work with them a lot and some other brands that give out grants as well. But our criteria, we wanted to be pretty simple because we wanted to focus on startups so that we could actually help them from the infancy stage to the growth stage. And so they just had to be a Black woman in business, less than 5 years, be based here in the U.S., and have a need, because the reality is a financial need. $10,000 is not going to change your life, but it definitely can help you a lot. And so these women who we've invested in, they also have a social impact with their business. And some of them more focused, some of them not as much. But for me, it was important to, our first round of applications, we got 20,000 applications in 30 days. And it's overwhelming. And I have to pray to God because, some of the emails I get what people didn't win were not nice.
I'm sure.
I'm one sister out here trying to make it happen for everybody. I only have so much funding, but I realized, what, at the end of the day, I'm doing my part. There's less than 10 Black women that actually have even raised multi-million-dollar for their companies. And so the fact that my organization has invested in 100 Black women, that to me means something. And so we wanted to invest in brands that had a social impact, because for me, it feels like, if I invest in your company and you have a social impact, that means what you're doing is going to impact even more women. So that makes my legacy go beyond just one person. And so somebody invested in the Boss Network when people thought my business was like, what are you doing? But a brand invested $10,000 in my company 10 years ago. And
you paid that forward.
And I paid it forward.
And you didn't have to. You could have raised that 1.1 and kept it for you, the Boss Network, but you did something so fruit-bearing that we definitely have to applaud you and keep a hedge of protection around you.
Man, that's amazing. It's inspiring me. So you know what? Although you cater to the women, it's inspiring brothers, and I hope that this is, because somebody's listening who may have some money in their pocket and want to be a blessing to someone else. And I think the Boss Network is a great avenue for them.
I'm thinking about my daughter.
Investing,
with, she's under 5 years. She's making a huge social impact.
Awesome. Definitely.
And as a speaker.
Well, I tell elected officials, I had a call yesterday and I told them, we got to keep investing in Black businesses, right? Because Black businesses hire what? Usually Black people, right? And Black people support what? The Black community. So the impact goes a long way. Instead of us just continually saying, we got to create jobs, let's create contract opportunities that these entrepreneurs can get and create these multi-million, multinational companies.
For the economy, sometimes people want to say, well, if it's just good for Black people, then is it worth it? But it's good for the economy, because when you have more Black businesses, you have more people employed, you have more people doing positive things. And so that is why it's important to invest into Black businesses.
Keeping our young people out the streets. So Dr. Smith, could you share some success stories or examples of how the Boss Network itself or the grants have already made a difference for some women entrepreneurs? Give us an example of one that just blew your mind. You went home thanking God.
Okay. Well, I'm thanking God for what He did for me, first of all.
Right.
But, Marcella, Tamara, I'll share this little quick testimony. The year that I launched my fund, 2022, that month that we actually launched the fund, my mother passed away.
Oh, no,
and
sorry
so
to
it
hear
was
that.
thank you. And so it was a very devastating time for me, but it also was an opportunity for me to really delve deeper into my faith. And what God has shown me was, this is about legacy. We all have an opportunity to do something here that's going to last beyond us living here, on this earth. And we all going to have, as my pastor would say, a date, with the front of the church. We're going to all have to pass away one day, but it's about what we leave behind. And so I knew that in that moment that I had to continue. And he put something so big in front of me that I could not stop. Even though I was in my grief, I was very, kind of, it was feeling really tricky, like this over here, like this doesn't make sense to me.
Surreal.
Yeah, but I knew that my mother was a minister for 25 years, and I knew that she had done her job here on earth. And so she instilled so many things in me. It was time for me to step into my own, because I was leaning on her prayers, to be honest, leaning on a lot of her faith. And I was just ordained about 2 months ago. And what God is showing me is that everything that he has for us is already inside of us. We just have to step into it. And so my success story is the fact that I kept going. When things got tough, I did not give up. I just leaned on my faith. And what I realized is that everything that we've been taught about faith, it doesn't work until it's time to put it into action.
That's right.
And that's when you really show up for yourself. And so the women that I've impacted, it has allowed me to actually be more vulnerable. Because I used to be like very because you kind of get taken seriously as a businesswoman, as a boss. So I had a lot of guards up. I was like, okay, I'm about the business over here. Don't come over here with nothing that ain't about the business. I don't have time. Right. But God knew that my heart is soft. And so being in this space and having to experience this, it has allowed me to come full circle and to be who I really am, which is a woman of God who loves people deeply. And I'm okay with that. And it's allowed my community to show up in a way where they're more vulnerable and they're talking about their faith. And so it's just a beautiful thing.
I love it.
I absolutely love it. Now, how can individuals and organizations support the Boston Network's mission and invest in Progress Grant Program? And you are out here like sowing so many seeds, and we don't want you to do this alone.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, because it is a lot, but we are still, trying to raise funding. The Boston Impact Fund, corporate companies that want to invest in the fund, they can contact us, visit thebostonnetwork.org. Brands that want to invest in our nonprofit, bostoncampus.org as well. And we're just really encouraging women to be a part of community, because entrepreneurship is very lonely, and most entrepreneurs are solopreneurs. And so if you don't have a community or support system, it can be very easy to want to give up. But when you're a part of a community that believes in you, you see other women doing it, you're like, okay, sister, I see you. That motivates you. And that's why I've lasted 15 years, because I have all these cheerleaders saying, Cameka, what you're doing is amazing. I have so many women that believe in me and support me. And that's what makes me want to wake up every morning and do what I do, because I realize that my legacy is connected to your legacy. And so
that's amazing. So go to bostonnetwork.org. Is there a donate button?
There is a donate button. Yes.
And so I want you to donate. Don't just look at the button. Donate. And there's no donation too small.
Yes.
And definitely not any too big.
That's right. That's right.
Go big or go home. No.
That's right.
Well, Dr. Cameka Smith, the Boston Network, we thank you for joining us today on the Brunch Fund. You're doing amazing, amazing work. And you know, as a Black man, and shout out to Christy Love, I just supported the She Owns the She Biz conference. And I said, as a Black entrepreneur, Black man entrepreneur supporting Black women entrepreneurs, I feel like it is my job. I need to do it. And I need all of us brothers listening to get behind the Boston Network and support in any way that you can. Because when Black women succeed, the world succeeds.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Because we're taking our families and our communities with us.
That's
everywhere
right.
we go.
Now, if that was a word you could sow a seed into Action Jackson, call me at no. But no,
definitely go to the bostonnetwork.org and sow that seed. And then if you have any seeds left, you can
enjoy women, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that are looking to connect with a group of women entrepreneurs for support. Join the Boston Network. Dr. Smith, anything coming up next quickly that you got going?
Yes, well, we're actually celebrating our official anniversary starting in June. And so we have a conference that we're going to be doing this year in Chicago in October and in Atlanta in November. So all that information is on the website at thebostonnetwork.org. And so we invite everybody to come out and celebrate with us.
All right. Well, listen, it is Wednesday, and we are helping you win through the Boston Network. Shout out to Dr. Cameka Smith. Thank you. Woo, 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 woo. Believers, listen, you know what? I almost could just drop the mic after that interview because it was so powerful.
It was.
And you know what? Glorilla said it at the end of the day got to end. And you know what? We got to end because we're out of time. but we're never out of content. We encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Tamara Fair on the air. T Breezy, I love you.
I love you, Action Jackson.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you. Up next, AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the afternoon drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
Woo.
With 20 seconds to spare. Cut my mic back on. I got something else.
We got way more. You guys, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you tomorrow at the same time. Hey, don't listen to these people who are afraid of love. If you love somebody, tell them that you
just
love
not in the week because they may run away.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, say something.
Always
do something to let them know that you love them. Okay. Hey, Dana. What's going on? Is Mariah on here?
Y'all, we